Petco Park, a new beginning, let's go. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we been knocking them down. Baby said she wanna go to the game. Taught her how to say Padre gang. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we been knocking them down. Mitchell and Ness with the old school name. All of the homies holler Padre gang. Yeah, that.
And good day, everybody. Padres home opener, Petco Park, 5:10 first pitch. The day is here. Padres hosting the Atlanta Braves, the defending World Series champion Atlanta Braves. Anyone that's going to the game, put that in the chat. I'd love to see what you're thinking, how excited you guys are. Joe Musgrove on the mound against Charlie Morton. It's going to be exciting. News just came down. It's official. Bob Melvin just announced to the media that Mackenzie Gore will be getting called up to make his long-awaited big league debut tomorrow night against the Braves, top pitching prospect. So that's going to be very exciting. But for tonight, it's Joe Musgrove on the mound. Padres enter this game 4-3. Braves are 3-4. And first pitch at 5:10, Valley Sports, San Diego for TV, 97.3 The Fan Radio. The Padres say that at 4:30 is going to be the pregame festivities. Braves are third place in the National League West, or not West, sorry, East, 2 games back. Padres fourth place after losing tonight. NL West 1 game back. This is exciting. It's been, 2019 was the last season where it was a full season, full capacity. And so I'm sure a lot of people heading down there excited. And there's some people that aren't even, going to the game, that probably are just going to, be at, Bub's or Basic Pizza or somewhere around the ballpark just to, experience that atmosphere. But just before we get kind of this pitching matchup here, starting off with some notes, obviously Mackenzie Gore just getting called up. Bob Melvin just made that official. And this is exciting tomorrow. This is going to be exciting. Mackenzie Gore. Okay, so Blake Snell is on the 10-day IL. And so I'm sure that they'll just retroactive that. So I would guess that Snell misses just 1 start. So that's good news. But 10-day IL, not surprising. Mackenzie Gore called up, so Gore will replace Snell, it seems like, on the roster. And this is a long-awaited. I mean, he really struggled last year, going from AAA, starting in AAA after a really bad spring training. And then he just has to go all the way down to Peoria. We had no idea what was going on. He was pitching in games that weren't televised. There were no box scores. You were just getting some periodic reports from beat writers, from sources that they got. And so it was kind of a mystery what was going on. And now, he gets Ruben Niebla with Bob Melvin and the new coaching staff. And pretty much everything was working for Mackenzie Gore ever since that happened. He worked on some things in the offseason before the lockout that Niebla told him to work on. And he put in the work. So credit to him. And now it's paying off. Now he's going to get his big league debut that we've been waiting for a long time. And to be honest, I wasn't quite sure that it was going to happen definitely this early. I had confidence, he was the number 1 pitching prospect in baseball at one point. You thought at some point he was going to make his big league debut because he just had the talent. You didn't think that it was going to be this big of a bust where he didn't make the big leagues. You thought it would happen at some point. But it was really bad when you had Vince Velasquez and Jake Arrieta being on the team over Gore. When a team's running out of pitching, you have your number 1 pitching prospect, late in the season, September, the team's collapsing. It seems like, okay, that's the best spot. Put him in, get him some big league experience. But the Padres weren't even willing to do that because he was lost. His mechanics weren't there. It just was not great. But now we're going to get to see him tomorrow night at Petco Park, wearing the white pinstripes, the brown pinstripes. That's going to be amazing. And he's going to get tested right out of the gate. with one of the best lineup, I think, in the National League East. You could argue the Phillies as well, but this Braves lineup is stacked even without Ronald Acuna. So it's going to be a tough test, but it's going to be exciting. But getting back to the pitching matchup today, Joe Musgrove against Charlie Morton. Musgrove gave up 2 runs in his first start of the season. It's great to see him pitch the home opener. It wasn't surprising that he didn't pitch opening day because the Padres wanted him to pitch this home opener. They saw that if they pitched him the third game of the season in Arizona, that Saturday game, that he would line up for today. This is what they were waiting for him to pitch in front of his home crowd, in front of all of his family at Petco Park. I'm sure this is going to be a memorable day for him. Really memorable day for him. And then Charlie Morton on the other side, 3.38 ERA so far, struck out 5 in his first start. Pitches great in big games. I know this isn't the postseason, obviously, but that's what he's made his hay on. He really pitches really well in big games, and this qualifies as a big game. I'm sure the Braves don't want to come in here and just roll over and have the Padres have their night, and so I think that they're going to want to, punch the Padres in the mouth, they don't care about Joe Musgrove's story. And so this is going to be a tough test for the Padres lineup yet again, who has scored 3 runs the last 2 games, scored 1 run yesterday on Jake Cronenworth's triple early in the game, and then they couldn't do anything after that, right? They get blown out 13-2 on Tuesday. So the offense just isn't looking great right now. And it's going to be another tough test today. It's going to be a tough test tomorrow with Ian Anderson. And then has been pitching okay as of late, and he's pitching Sunday night. So it's not going to be easy. The good thing is the last 2 series, the Padres have missed those 2 teams' aces. Carlos Rodon they missed with the Giants. They didn't have to face Max Fried. They're not going to have to face him this series. He pitched yesterday against the Nationals, I believe. So that's good, but it's going to be another tough test tonight with Charlie Morton on the mound. Going through some news and notes quickly, Josh Stein did tell Coach Quintero on 97.3 The Fan that the Mackenzie Gore speculation of him starting on Friday is spot on. I was going to play the audio, but literally right as I was coming on, Gore officially got called up and replaces Snell. Snell goes on the 10-day IL. So he's obviously making the start. So the spot-on speculation, there's no need to really go elaborate on that because it's actually happening. It's going to be exciting to see Mackenzie Gore. Hopefully he's wearing number 1. See him, get that start in Petco. That's going to be exciting after him really, really struggling. That first start, or not first start, last year. I'm really excited for Mackenzie. Really, really excited. I took a picture with him outside the press box in 2018 after he was doing an interview with Mud and Dawn at the end of the season. Obviously, the Padres weren't contending. He signed an autograph for me, and that's when it seemed like things were going to go right. He was going to be in the big leagues in a matter of a couple years. That got delayed because of last year and the steps back that he took last year. And so it's just pure excitement for me to see him turn it around. And props to Ruben Niebla, props to the coaching staff, props to Gore for putting in the work. And that's going to be the highlight of this homestand, is seeing Gore have that major league debut, at least going into it. Musgrove's a great story, but Musgrove, we've seen him pitch at home before. We've seen it. His moment in Padre Brown, the no-hitter, we've seen that already. And so Gore, the anticipation for this, I think, is going to be off the charts going into the game tomorrow. So that's one news note. Austin Adams was placed on the 10-day IL. Pedro Avila was called up. He is on the active roster. So will he get in? I think he's going to be someone that would get in a blowout game. And so you obviously that doesn't happen. You hope that doesn't happen. I think he started 1 game in September last year, pitched a couple innings against the Giants. So they call him up. Reese Kinnear's still in AAA. Weather's still in AAA. Gore called up, obviously. And then Will Myers. Will Myers told Kevin Acee, told reporters, I don't know if it was only Acee or if it was just reporters, all of them. He said today will be his last home opener in San Diego, so he's going to soak it all in. That's what he said. And then AC said later that Myers told him, later in his scrum that he's assuming that this will be his last home opener. And so it's not definitive, but he's assuming it because his contract's expiring. So that's probably what's going to happen. Yeah, I think I would assume this is going to be Myers' last home opener. And the way things are going, I think it definitely is, with how he's lost at the plate. But, maybe just the sentimental part in me, like he's been here through all the ups and downs, through the rebuilds, through, building the team up and then it crumbling, the first year that he was here. So you want the Padres to win a World Series in Myers' last year here. It seems like that's what it's going to be, his last year here, unless he accepts a bench role or something, next year. But that's a long way down the road. But, yeah, I think Myers, it would be great to see him hit another home run today. He hit a home run in 2019 off Mad Bum. I think he went yard in 2021 with back-to-back with Haas. On opening day, this is the home opener, not technically opening day. But it would be great to see Myers go bridge in what looks like going to be his last opening day as a Padre, at least starting. So we went over the pitching matchup already. As for the bullpen, let's see here. So I have Pedro Avila drop Austin Adams, obviously, because he is not going to be on the roster. He's not on the roster. He's on the IL. But Chris Matt's on a day of rest. You got Pierce Johnson hasn't pitched in 2 days. 3 days, 2 days rest. Lamet has a day of rest. Stammen, Suarez, Hill, Rogers, Kyle Tyler, Pedro Avila. So they have everyone available except Steven Wilson. That was the best part about Sean Manaea yesterday, pitching, 7 innings, giving up only 2 runs, and ending his outing with 4 scoreless. He pitched great again. And that's a really, really, really welcome sight for Padres fans and for Bob Melvin, because that'll help save the bullpen. Because, look, you got everyone in the bullpen available now except Steven Wilson, and that's a welcoming sight because who knows? You got a 4-game series against arguably the second-best offense in the National League, second-best lineup in the National League. So my gut instinct is you're going to need some of these bullpen arms, and you're going to need Taylor Rogers to maybe pitch 3 out of 4 days here. You're going to need Stammen and Suarez and Johnson, so we'll see. And then Steven Wilson on Saturday or Sunday or both. So that's definitely a welcome sight, Manaea, with those 7 innings yesterday, that the bullpen pretty much going to be available. Everyone in the bullpen going to be available, it seems like. All right, let's move to the lineup. Both lineups are out, actually. For the Braves, we got Albies at second, Olsen at first, the replacement for Freeman. Riley hitting third, playing third, Ozuna in left, d'Arnaud catching, Eddie Rosario in right, Adam Duvall in center. Former Padre Alex Dickerson DHing, hitting 8th, and Dansby Swanson hitting 9th at short. It seems like Riley and Olsen and Ozuna and d'Arnaud have gotten off to a really good start so far. All 4 of them have at least 1 home run. Riley and Ozuna have 2. Olsen's driven in 1 run, so it was a solo homer. And they don't have Acuna, but you can tell, like, this lineup, 1 through 6, 1 through 7, is stacked. Definitely more confident than you can say in the Padres order. Grisham, Nola, Machado, Cronenworth, Voit, Hosmer, Myers, Profar, and then C.J. Abrams. I heard some complaints on Padres Twitter today about Kim not being in the starting lineup for like a 3rd day in the row. But look, that's the way that it is. They're going to platoon them. If it's a lefty on the mound, well, it's going to be Kim at the plate. If it's a righty on the mound, it's going to be Abrams. And Morton is a righty, so it's going to be a righty. It's going to be a lefty, at the plate. So CJ's going to hit. You can say that Kim had the red hot start spring training and all that, and I agree, but so did CJ. I know CJ's gotten off to a rough start. He only has one hit so far. That blooper to left in, I think, what was that? Saturday's game against Arizona to open up the season. So I understand why people might want Kim in there over Abrams, but that's just the way it is. The platoons, that's just the way it's going to be. Lefties on the mound, it's going to be Kim. Righties on the mound, it's going to be Abrams. That's what it seems like, because no one has, totally stuck themselves out and, been red hot, right? No one has totally, between Abrams and Kim, no one has separated themselves in that shortstop competition offensively. Both are good defensively. We know what we're going to get. Both are really good defensively at short. So it's going to be who's the best hitter. And if no one's hot, like no one is hot right now, they're going to just go with the platoon. So that's why Abrams hitting ninth. Grisham, I don't know how much longer they're going to go with him batting leadoff, but what other choice do they have? Abrams is also struggling, and he's a lefty. So you're pretty much doing the same thing with Grisham and Abrams hitting leadoff. So Abrams would stick ninth, Grisham would stick at leadoff. Nola, to be honest, I kind of like him in the 2-hole because it splits up the two lefties. I think Jake fits better batting fourth, having someone on, than hitting him second with the way it's going back with no one on. And then you go in, so you got left, right. So take that off what I just said. Don't even remember that. Splitting up the lefties. Machado's a righty, so my bad. But Nola, Machado, and then you got a lefty, right, left, right, switch. So a left today, and then a left. Myers, I would like him to be 8th and not 7th. I think that Profar with the switch hitter, I don't think it's that big of a deal, him batting as a righty, have back-to-back Profar's a lefty. Back-to-back lefties, I don't think that's that big of a deal when Myers is really not contributing and Profar's the best hitter in the Padres lineup right now, along with Hosmer. So I'd like Profar to be higher up in the order. 7th, I'd be okay with, to be honest. But feel free to give your thoughts on the lineup, what you think of the lineup so far. Steve comments, why won't they put Abrams in the outfield? Well, because he hasn't had enough reps in the outfield right now. He's not comfortable in the outfield, it doesn't look like. I don't think the Padres are comfortable in putting him in the outfield. So there's your answer. That's why. He played one spring training game in right field and didn't even start in right field in that game. And that was like the second to last or the last spring training game that he had. So they didn't even put him out there for a substantial period of time in spring training. So he's just not comfortable there. He's playing good defensively at short. And like I mentioned earlier, no one separated themselves offensively between Kim and Abrams. So they're just going to go with the platoon right now and do the matchups as who the starting shortstop is going to be. That's how they're going to do it. Tupac, what's up? I live on 25th and Commercial, 4 minutes away on the trolley. Cool. It seems like you're heading out there. Have fun at Petco today. I know my mom's going. There she is. Yep. She's excited. Took today and tomorrow off. So, Padre fans are excited. They've sold out season tickets. Or not sold out. They've set a record for season tickets, the amount of season ticket holders. And they might have to put a cap on it. Eric Gertner said a couple weeks ago they haven't done it yet, but there is excitement around this team. Undoubtedly, there is excitement, and that just shows you how starved us fans are for a winner. All right, let's get to what to watch for. My what to watch for is for today. My first one doesn't even involve Petco Park or the Padres Major League team. It's Mike Clevenger. He's going to have a rehab assignment in Lake Elsinore later tonight. So anyone that lives up there, you can go watch him if you're not going to make it to Petco. He is going to start tonight for Lake Elsinore. I think he'll make another rehab start after this. So Mackenzie Gore probably will get another start. I know it's going to be based on the lefty. So if Snell gets activated, will it be Gore only pitching one start? And because they retroactive Snell probably. So if Snell only pitches or misses one start, then will Gore get sent back down? That's a question. But to be honest, if Gore pitches really well tomorrow night, they have to keep him up. So will it be a piggyback? Will they have Martinez piggyback and have Gore start if that's how uncomfortable Gore is bullpen-wise, and Martinez is like, okay, sure, we'll do that. So those are questions that will be answered, and we'll see. Another what to watch for, can C.J. Abrams get his first hit at Petco? Same thing with Luke Voit, to be honest. As a Padre, Voit did homer in that 2020 division series that was held at Petco with no fans. But can CJ get his first hit at Petco? Can he get his second hit on the year? I think that will be exciting for fans to see, because this kind of, for me, replicates Tatis's debut. I know that was opening day, like actually opening day. But see, if you remember, Tatis had that 5-5 hole base hit, was great, replicating Tony's hot spot there. But can CJ get a hit? The fans were really, really excited for Tatis to make his debut. They were still in the blue and white uniforms. They weren't in the brown and gold yet. But this crowd, when they announce him, I think they're going to go nuts. I know he hasn't gotten off to a hot start, but they love this kid. I do too. So that's what to watch for. And how will pitching do against arguably the second best lineup in the National League? I mean, it's stacked. Albies, Swanson, I know he's hitting ninth, but he performed well in the playoffs last year. You got Ozuna back. Adam Duvall was a good outfield, option there. Alex Dickerson has sneaky pop at times as well. He plays pretty well against the Padres, believe it or not. Matt Olson, obviously, in the middle of that lineup. They have a really good lineup, a really good bullpen with Kenley Jansen that they got. Kirby Yates will come back at some point. They still have Taylor Matzek and a lot of the majority of last year's World Series bullpen. So this is a playoff team. And so my question is, how will this pitching do? You started with not a great lineup, then you got to a better lineup, and now you're getting to an even better lineup. And then you're going to get to an even better lineup on paper next weekend when you get the Dodgers in town. So will this pitching continue to hold up against the second best lineup in the National League? Moving to my Padre pick, one guy who I think will get a hit today, I think it'll be Jurickson Profar. He's hitting 364 off Charlie Morton. I picked Cronenworth yesterday. He tripled in his first at-bat. That was pretty much the only offense the Padres had until that ninth inning. But even then, it was Profar getting hit by a pitch, Hosmer walking, so it wasn't a ton of offense. But last night I went Cronenworth, got that right. I'm 4-2 so far on the season in my pregame show Padre pick, who I think will get a hit today. If I could only pick one guy, Profar today. I know he's sitting in the bottom of the order, but I like that matchup. Switch hitter, so he's going to be in the game at least probably through 8 if they want to put Azekar there in defensive replacement if they have the lead. So I'm going to go Profar with my Padre pick. Moving to some MLB news and notes here. Obviously, Gore is a big note. He's getting called up. He's officially called up, replacing Snell on the roster, and he will start tomorrow night against Ian Anderson at Petco Park. 5:10 p.m. Pacific time. Again, first pitch tonight. Kershaw was pulled after 7 perfect innings, 80 pitches yesterday. I thought they should have kept him in. The Pirates gave Brian Reynolds a 2-year deal. I think that will cover arbitration. Not too much of an increase. I think it's like $13 million. So it was like 5, and now it's 6.5-ish. So not that big of an increase. I don't think that's really going to affect many teams in their pursuit of acquiring him in terms of the money that he's making, in terms of him being affordable. The Mariners are up 5-1 on the White Sox right now. Other games just getting started. You got St. Louis and Milwaukee. Toronto and New York starts at a little after 4 o'clock. The Dodgers are hosting Cincinnati. They have their home opener. That's at 7:10, so a couple hours after the Padres game starts. Oakland already beat Tampa today. So those are some news and notes. Vladdy hit 3 bombs last night against the Yankees. Man, he is making a run, early season run for Player of the Month. Steven Kwan as well. I think he got his first swing and miss the other day. All right, before we get out of here, some Padre fan comments here. Gil says, once Abrams gets some hits together, I have a feeling they will come in bunches. I sure hope so, Gil. I sure hope so. And hopefully that starts today. First home game, that would be great. Fans cheering him on, probably giving him a standing ovation when he gets announced. I know he's hitting 9th in the order, but this fan base is really excited for him. Same with Gore. When he gets announced today, with that news, everyone has Twitter, everyone is on their phones, and they know that Gore is on the roster now. So when he gets announced, they know that he's starting tomorrow. When he gets announced, this fan base is going to be jazzed up for that. So it's going to be exciting. This has been the Padres pregame show. Everyone who's going to the game, enjoy it. Everyone who's watching the game on TV like myself, enjoy it as well. I'll have a reaction after the game. Stay tuned for that. I'll have Ben Verlander on the show tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, live stream that. So I'm excited to have him on as well. That's Justin Verlander's brother for episode 149 of the podcast. If you are in Petco Park, Gaglione Bros, go visit them. They're not a sponsor of the pregame show, but they're a sponsor of my episodes of Talking Friars, of the podcast and YouTube show, the episodes. GaglioneBros.com to be their entire menu. Great cheesesteaks and garlic fries inside Petco Park. I'm sure all their booths will be open today because it's going to be sold out. Their main their main stand is right by the Bally Sports booth where Mark Sweeney and Mike Pomerantz will do their thing pre and post game show. Garlic fries, cheesesteaks. Get there early because the line does get pretty long because of how great their food is. So make sure you hit up that stand. Enjoy the day. Padres pregame show, Talking Friars pregame show. Padres Braves kicking off at 5:10. Be in your seats by 4:30. Ben Fadden signing off. See ya.